Welcome to Real Authority. Today I'm talking about Freakier Friday, the long-awaited sequel to the 2000s cult classic Freaky Friday. Tess and Anna Coleman, played by Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, switcherooed bodies 2 decades ago, and now they do it again. This time with Anna's daughter, Harper, and her adopted daughter, Lily, as Anna is marrying Lily's father in the coming weeks, even though Harper and Lily hate each other. So because of this switcheroo thing and because they're involved in the curse now, they try to sabotage the wedding. As wacky hijinks ensue because Freaky Friday, yes sir. Gonna be real with you, I had a little bit of excitement for this movie, even though I do feel that it wasn't going to be perfect. Like, granted, the original Freaky Friday wasn't perfect, but I'm able to overlook all the flaws and just have a good time. Can this movie recapture that magic? To an extent it does, but I do feel in comparison to the original, this is the weakest Freaky Friday movie, even though I haven't read the book or watched the original adaptations, but in comparison to the 2003 original, it does live in its shadow. But for a 20 years later sequel, it was better than it had any right to be. I guess a lot of that has to do with how good Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are as mother-daughter 2 decades later. They reprised their roles like 2003 was yesterday. They absolutely fit back into the roles like gloves. Curtis in particular gives perhaps the most entertaining performance of this entire movie. She had me laughing a lot. Whether it was as Tess or as Lily in Tess's body, isn't it confusing? She absolutely stole the show. Lohan does a great job too. Also, Julia Butters and Sophia Hammonds as the daughters, and the switcheroo versions of them as mother and granddaughter. They absolutely did a great job too, and all 4 have immense chemistry, but also a lot of comedic charms, which I really did appreciate. Speaking of which, the movie, even though it's not Naked Gun levels of funny, it still had a lot of jokes that had me laughing. Even though not all the comedy lands, enough does so that I wound up laughing a lot. I smiled a lot. Yeah, it's funny. Nisha Ganatra, even though she's no Mark Waters, I do feel that she does a great job with her directing, making the situation less complicated than it would sound on paper. The movie is actually really fun outside of being funny. It's a fun time, absolutely. If it's not Ganatra's directing, it's definitely Jordan Weiss's screenplay, an inventive redo on the formula. Like, even though you can make the argument that it's basically Freaky Friday plus 2 more people, I do feel like Weiss did a good job at basically making that strong, for lack of a better word. Unfortunately, there are like a few issues in it that prevent it from being as good as the original. Maybe it'll become a cult classic like the original, but I do feel like the original Freaky Friday had less issues. Start off, even though the original Freaky Friday had like an hour 30-minute runtime, this one runs 1 hour and 51 minutes, and even though it's never boring, I do feel that they could have shortened down the runtime. Because for a comedy like this, I feel like 90 minutes is in the pocket, you're good to go, but yeah, unfortunately, they kind of kept it going for a bit too long and not everything works. Also, as I said, the comedy is sometimes great. However, it is inconsistent. Again, a lot of the actors do sell their comedy, Curtis in particular, but there are some jokes that not even the actors can make hilarious. However, in spite of some issues, it's good to see Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan reprising their roles again. It felt like they, as well as the rest of the actors, were having a time of their life, and sometimes that doesn't translate to screen. However, here it does. You absolutely have fun with them, and it's super refreshing. It has charm through the roof and absolutely justifies its own existence. So you know what? The Real Authority does approve. If you want a fun time, you got a fun time. That's basically it, I guess. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, comment, and turn on post notifications, and make sure to check out my other videos. Hopefully you enjoyed Freakier Friday. Alright, peace.